Pregame.com.
NBA action on Friday night. We've got the LA Lakers. They're traveling to Minnesota. It's going to be the third game on this road trip. This game, I'm joined by Scott Spreitzer. I'm Marco D'Angelo. This game's being played on Friday. We're taping on Wednesday, so we don't have an actual line, so we got to project the line. And the only problem with it is both teams play on Wednesday night. So we've got a situation. The Lakers are in Washington. Minnesota plays at home to Portland. So the outcome of that game can affect this, this line one way or the other. We're projecting the Lakers are going to come out a 1-point favorite, just basically because they're the Lakers.
Exactly.
Not necessarily that they play so well on the road, and I know you've got some thoughts on that, so I'm going to kick it to you. You can set it up here with all the reasons why we shouldn't have the Lakers, but I probably will. But we're going to end up being there. Go ahead, Scott.
Where has the Lakers bench gone? That's what I want to start by saying. Did you see what happened against Detroit? That Lakers bench scored a grand total of 7 points, and if you weren't named Kobe or Gasol or Bynum, you didn't do anything, basically. Those three guys, a triumvirate for the Lakers, scored 72 of the team's 85 points. All that, yet they came within 3 points of winning the game and went into overtime before they did get beat. Listen, I drive around Vegas all the time, and it's a wannabe Laker town, as we all know, and we've all accepted. But I keep hearing on the radio all the time about the terrible job that Buss's kids and their buddies are doing running this team now, and talking about Jerry Buss's son who's running the team. And the smartest one of the bunch is Janie Buss, and she has nothing to do with the team because she's hanging out with Phil Jackson. But again, and I think we talked about this last week, if they got the trade that they thought they had before the season began, which was for Chris Paul, all of a sudden a lot of their problems have just gone by the wayside. Right. And we still have to remember this team is 23 and 15 or whatever it is, going into Wednesday night's game. Here's the deal. You look at what happened against Detroit. No bench, nobody scoring besides the big three. The point guard position, man, was a bad Marco. You had Derek Fisher starts the game, plays 31 minutes. He has 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting, tried 1 3-pointer, didn't make it, and he has 1 assist in 31 minutes. Blake comes in. He scores 0 points on 0 for 2 shooting. He has 4 assists. So you've had 21 minutes by Blake, 31 minutes by Fisher. You've got a combined 2 points from your point guards and a combined 5 assists. That is not going to put this team at the level that the Laker fans have grown used to, that the Laker organization has grown used to. They are never going to get it. And Mike Brown, who at times when he got hired, I thought, what a bad fit. And of course, they got to learn, to go away from the triangle-based offense. But he doesn't even, you can't even judge him fairly right now because they don't have anybody picking it up at the point. And until they do, they're going to struggle against the elite teams in the NBA. Now, Minnesota's getting better, but they're not yet elite.
Well, in one of the things, last night the Lakers played, and again, we're taping on Wednesday. So Tuesday night, the Lakers played at Detroit, as you said. That was a game that I actually gave a free pick on Detroit in that game because it was a situational bad spot for the Lakers. They were coming off, they're traveling east, coming from the West Coast, coming east, and they were coming off a monster game on Sunday. That was a statement game. And this Laker team, it seems like they show up to play the level of the competition that they're playing. Now, again, Minnesota's not a primetime name yet, but they are an NBA team that's on the way up the ladder, not down the ladder. And I think the Lakers, because they already had that bad game on the road, I don't know what they're going to do tonight in Washington, but you could expect that they're going to be primed and ready after a poor performance again in Detroit. But the Lakers are not, the youngest team in the league either. Playing back-to-back nights could be another bad spot for them. And I actually hope they do just barely get by Minnesota or Washington, because I think that would set us up even better for them. Have the day rest and then come in here and play this upstart Minnesota team. Right. And the Lakers, they've had troubles on the road. I mean, they're 2 different teams, home and away. But I think Kobe will get this team ready. They're not going to have 3 bad games in a row, depending again what happens tonight. I like them here. It's a game on Friday. A lot of attention's not going to be on the NBA this week, so I think with all of the conference tournament games, I think we're going to get a soft number on the Lakers because of what they've done on the road this year and that stigma with them. And as you said about Coach Brown, this is a team, I did a video earlier with Steven Nover, and we talked about some teams that we think are going to have some value later in the second half of the season. And you never use the word Lakers and having line value,
right,
because it just doesn't happen. But I think because they have played so poorly this year, and especially on the road, one of those things is like you talked about. They've got a new coach. They've got a new offense. And they don't have a good point guard to run that. They're going to be better later. Even though Fisher's not the answer, the team's going to get better with this offense as they go and they get more comfortable. And as we near the trade deadline, something's got to happen. If this Laker team doesn't make some kind of move to get some help, they're not going to go far enough. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to go far in the playoffs at all.
And that's why I also said, you got to give, if this team loses to Minnesota and they continue to lose, then obviously Buss takes the heat, the kid, and he should. And there is a lot of weird, guys that were, working at Dairy Queen last week are now, general manager of this or that because he happens to be Buss's friends. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's been what's going on in the Laker organization. So they're setting themselves up to take a lot more heat in the LA media than they already have. But again, when you play that triangle-based offense, the point guard isn't as important as he is in the regular, normal, typical NBA-based offense, and they're finding that out now. You got to have that point guard. I know Kobe Bryant runs this offense for the most part, but you still need the guy with the personality who can take over at the point and be a floor general and direct traffic a little bit. Derek Fisher's just old. I love Derek Fisher, but he's just getting old, and that's the bottom line. Steve Blake's not the answer at the point. I'd rather have that guy coming in playing 15 minutes a game, spotting up for the occasional three when Kobe's kicking out or Paul Gasol or Bynum. But here's the thing that they have going into this game. Now, all this negative talk about the Lakers, they match up against Kevin Love probably pretty well because of Bynum and Gasol. So Kevin Love has a bad game, which means he scores 20 and grabs 10. But maybe he has a bad enough game, I should say, to where they fall short of beating the Lakers. Now, I've been really hammering away at this game, dissected it, and I say if Kobe's got the black mask, they win by 3. If he's got the clear mask, they win by 6. So we're really breaking this down into a fine science. But one thing about Kobe after that loss to Detroit, you don't hear him talk about or give excuses. You just never do. And he came out and he said, I did feel fatigued and I felt the symptoms from the concussion a little bit from the All-Star game. Finally, it kind of hit me. And I believe him because he never really complains or makes excuses. They're going to have a day off between games. And if they struggle at all on Wednesday night, tonight against Washington, I think this team comes out with a real focused effort.
Now, back to the mask, the clear and the black, is that the road mask and the home mask? Or,
Well, I think you better dump that black mask after what happened in Detroit.
All right, well, there you have it. Scott's on the Lakers. I'm on the Lakers. We both got them winning by, I've got them by 3. You've got them, depending on the mask. Want to be safe and say 4
I'll take what, no matter what the mask is, they win by 4 points.
Okay. Carry on the conversation at pregamevideos.com, and you can follow all of our videos all week long at pregame.tv. Not only are we going to have pick videos for you, we've got Rants of the Week with me and Steven Nover, and we're going to do another video, Scott and I, Peyton Manning. Have you heard of him? They're talking about him. I don't know why this week, but we're going to break down where we think he should go, where he's probably going to go. And believe it or not, yeah, you can bet on it here in Las Vegas. I'll tell you the odds on what teams are. If you want to put down a $100 bill, what you'll get back if your team is the correct team for the Peyton Manning lottery. Only in Vegas, guys. Only in Vegas. We'll be right back.